Hello.
Good morning, Bhante.
Good morning.
Morning, Bhante.
Morning, Bhante.
Morning, Bhante.
All right. Now you can hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, Bhante.
Today I'm going to talk on another very, very important discourse, also from Samyutta Nikaya. And that is the name of the discourse is Haliddikāni. Haliddikāni. You can see the title, Haliddikāni. Thus have I heard, on one occasion the Venerable Mahakachyana was dwelling among the people of Avanti on Mount Papata at Kuragara. Kuragara is a city. In the city, there were many people who belong to various religious traditions. Nigandhanatha Putta, Ajitakesa Kambala, Sanjay Bellata Putta, and so forth. Various religious teachers were living there. And then the Buddha also was living in that area. And Mahakachyana, also known for explaining the Dhamma in detail, was living there. Then Haliddikāni is the name of a householder. He approached the Venerable Mahakassapa, paid homage to him, sat down to one side, and said to him, Venerable Sir, this was said by the Blessed One in the question of Mahagandhya of Attakavagga. Attakavagga is one of the two very profound chapters in Sutta Nipata. In Sutta Nipata, one of the suttas is called Mahagandhya Sutta. Attakavagga means where there are 8 stanzas. Of course, even though it is mentioned Attakavagga, sometimes it is more than 8, sometimes less, but generally the chapter is called the octet, 8 stanzas chapter. In the Mahagandhya Sutta, Buddha said this, all in Pali, to avoid to save time, I use only English translation. This is the stanza. Having left home to roam without a board, in the village the sage is intimate with none, rid of sensual pleasures without expectations. He would not engage people in dispute. So this is the stanza. So Haliddikāni did not understand the detailed meaning of this stanza. Then he said, how, Venerable Sir, should the meaning of this stated by the Blessed One in brief be understood in detail? So he requested Venerable Mahakachyana to explain the meaning of this. Then Venerable Mahakachyana began to explain. The form element householder is the home of consciousness. And the Pali word is oka. Oka is Oka means home in Pali, Oka. There are many other words, but it also is one of the good words. Form elements household is the home of consciousness. Now, consciousness lives in form element, Rupa Dhatu. Form elements, he talks about 5 aggregates: form, feeling, perception, thought, and consciousness. Out of them, consciousness taken separately, and as Buddha said, this consciousness lives in form element. And then one whose consciousness is shackled by lust for the form element is called one who roams about in home. So his consciousness is shackled, tied. Consciousness is tied to form elements by lust for the form element. Now, consciousness is lodged in it because it is lodged by lust in the form element. Therefore, it is called one who roams about in a home. This is a very profound teaching. The feeling element is the home for consciousness. Perception element is the home for consciousness. Volitional formations element is the home of consciousness. One whose consciousness is shackled by lust for the volitional formations element is called one who roams about in a home. It is in such a way that one roams about in a home. So he is bound in home. And how householder does one roam about homeless? Roam about homeless? This is the opposite. The desire, lust, delight, craving, engagement, and clinging, the mental standpoints, adherence, and underlying tendencies regarding the form element. These have been abandoned by the Tathagata, cut off the root, made like a palm stems, obliterated so that they are no more subject to future arising. Therefore, the Tathagata is called one who roams about homeless. The desire, lust, delight, craving, engagement, and clinging, the mental standpoints, adherence, and underlying tendencies regarding the feeling, regarding the perception element, regarding the volitional formations element, regarding the consciousness element. These have been abandoned by the Tathagata, cut off at the root, made like a palm stems, and then obliterated so that they are no more subject to future arising. Therefore, Tathagata is called one who roams about homeless. It is in such a way that one roams about homeless. Now we talk about homelessness. Homeless. Even though Buddha had form, feeling, perception, volitional formations, consciousness, Buddha did not have any lust any desire, and any delight and craving, or the engagement and clinging, the mental standpoint, adherence, and underlying tendencies regarding these five aggregates: form, feeling, perception, volitional formations, and consciousness. He had them without lust, desire, and so forth. And therefore the Tathagata is called one who is roaming about homeless. He is traveling, living homeless, real homelessness. And we say those who renounce the household life, become monks and nuns, are also called homeless, but they are not in ultimate sense, they are not homeless. And then only the Buddha and Arahants are real people who are homeless. And how a soldier doesn't roam about in an abode by diffusion and confinement in the abode consisting in the sign of forms. One is called one who roams about in an abode. Now, he roam or walk about, travel, and move in an abode. One who has the what you call spread confinement in the sign of forms, and if we simply move around in this five aggregates, not only holding on to spread is all his ability, all his mind in that five aggregates, then he is called one who is roaming about in an abode. And then when Mahakachana asked, want to explain it himself, repeated the question, and how householder does one roam about without abode? He roam about without abode. The diffusion, consignment in the abode, consisting in the sign or form, these have been abandoned by the Tathagata, cut off at the root, made like a palm stump, obliterated so that they are no more subject to future arising. Therefore, the Tathagata is called one who roams about without abode. Now, previously he said he traveled, moved without house, home, and became real homeless. Now again he roam about without abode. Now, and the similar thing, diffusion and confinement in the abode consisting in the sign of sound, odors, taste, and tactile objects, and mental phenomena. Previously, he used the inner Rupa, Vedana, form, feeling, perceptions, and so forth. Now, outer objects. For the eye, form, ear, sound, nose, smell, odors, tongue, taste, and the body, tactile objects. And for the mind, mental phenomena, Dhamma. And he has no interest in them. He move around, and they are called abode. And previous one were called home. Internal senses aggregates are called home. The sensory objects are called abode. Almost the same, but the Tathagata, the Buddha, cut off at the root, the Tathagata. These have been abandoned by the Tathagata, cut off at the root, made like a palm stump, obliterated so that they are no more subject to future arising. You see, when we have attachment, clinging, craving, and so forth for external things, we build up our greed, desire for obtaining them. When we see beautiful things, heard beautiful sound, smell good smell, taste good taste, and touch tactile with the body, and have mental objects very attractive, craving arises to obtain them, possess them, and that becomes the seed for the future existence. Buddha does not have all these things. He destroyed all this. Then therefore, no more subject to future arising. Therefore, Tathagata is called one who roams about without abode. It is in such a way that one roams about without abode. Then Mahakachyana says, and how householder is one intimate in the village? So he himself answered the question. Here householder, someone lives in association with lay people. This talk about the monastic's behavior. He rejoices with them and sorrows with them. He is happy when they are happy and sad when they are sad, and he involves himself in their affairs and duties. When they have a job and some work to do, he engages with them, he go and join them and give them a helping hand. And in such a way that one is intimate in the village. So when you village people are happy, this person is happy. When they are sad, he is sad. When they have some job to do, he would go and help them. This is so engaging, intimating in the village. Here village means the people. And how householder is one intimate with none in the village. If somebody does not engage with anybody in the village, here householder, a bhikkhu, does not live in association with the lay people. That doesn't mean he doesn't do anything to lay people. He will teach, he will advise, he will go and have meals, receive alms food from them, and give Dhamma sermons and so forth. That doesn't mean he is going to do anything more than that. So, but he is not engaged in village activities. He may, when somebody is sad, he may try to explain the Dhamma and to eliminate his sadness. And so forth, he does his duty or service. But he does not rejoice with them or sorrow with them. He is not happy when they are happy and sad when they are sad, and he does not involve in himself in their affairs and duties. And it is in such a way that one is intimate, one is intimate with none in a village. And then the Venerable Mahakachan says, and how householder is one not rid of sensual pleasures? Not rid of sensual pleasures. Here householder someone is not devoid of lust, desire, affection, thirst, passion, and craving in regard to sensual pleasures. Sensual pleasures through the eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, and mind, there arises a pleasure, but it does not develop the lust, desire, affection, thirst, passion, and craving in regard to those experiences. And how householder one rid of sensual pleasures? One rid of sensual pleasures? Here householder someone is devoid of lust, desire, affection, thirst, passion, and craving in regard to sensual pleasures. It is in such a way that one is rid of sensual pleasures. Okay. And then Venerable Mahakachan asks another question with the intention of answering it. And how householder does one entertain expectations? Here, householder someone thinks may I have such a form in the future, may I have such a feeling in the future, may I have such a perception in the future, may I have such a volitional formations in the future, may I have such a consciousness in the future. It is in such a way that one entertains expectation. Now, if a monastic were to do this, that one is having expectation. And the next Venerable Mahakachan asks, and how householder is one without expectation? Just the opposite of the previous one. Here householder someone does not think, may I have such a form in the future, may I have such a form feeling in the future, may I have such a perception in the future, may I have such a religion of formations in the future, may I have such a consciousness in the future. It is in this way that one is without expectation. And then there is another very, because this, as I said, that area is where various religious sectarians lived. And in there, this also is very common thing. They challenge each other. And how householder does one engage people in dispute? Here householder someone engaged in such a talk as this. You don't understand this Dhamma and discipline. I understand this Dhamma and discipline. And what do you understand this Dhamma and discipline? You are practicing wrongly. I am practicing rightly. What should have been said before? You said after. What should have been said after? You said before. I am consistent. You are not. You are inconsistent. What you took long to think out of, has been overturned. You have been thinking of all sorts of things and then came to me. I turned them over. I have turned them around, turned them, overturned them. Your thesis has been refuted. Go off to rescue your thesis. For you are defeated or disentangled yourself if you can. This kind of disputes, this sort of disputes has happened those days in the Buddha's time among those sectarians who live in that area. And how householder does one not engage people in dispute? Here householder, someone does not engage in such a talk as this. You don't understand this Dhamma and dispute. I understand the Dhamma and dispute, and so forth. The same thing he does not do. And who is the one who does not do this? Is the Tathagata and Arahant. They understand disputes among people, therefore they don't get engaged in that kind of disputes. When somebody came to see the Buddha, and because this was very common in those days, you don't see this kind of discussion, argument, debate among religious people these days. But those days, this was something very common. And that is why in Attaka in Sutta Nipata, this stanza was stated. By the Sutta Nipata is one of the oldest texts. That is why this is in Samyutta Nikaya. Sutta Nipata's statements are quoted, cited in other texts like Samyutta Nikaya, sometimes even in Madhyama Nikaya, because this is very popular, and that is because it is older than other texts. That's also householder when it was said by the said one in the question of Mahagandhya or the Attaka. This is the repetition. The summary again. Having left home to roam without abode. Left home, roam without abode. Home, oka, is a home. The real homelessness is leaving desire, craving for 5 aggregates. It means he liberates 5 aggregates from 5 aggregates of clinging. And then he becomes homeless. Roam without abode. That means he is not did not have craving, clinging, grasping, or to external sense object, form, sound, smell, taste, touch, and mind objects. Because when one grasps, crave for them, desire increase, that would be the seed for then they will commit karma, which would generate results in next life, and you have rebirth. So the Buddha was roaming without abode. Abode means a place where you live. And in the village, the sage is intimate with none. That is, he does not engage in people's activities, although Buddha gave Dhamma sermon instructions, advices to people, encouraged them to practice Dhamma, and so forth. And yet, he lived without clinging to anybody. Just like water on the lotus leaf. Water is in the lotus leaf, but it doesn't stay there. Like pouring water on the duck's back. Duck is in the water, but water does not seep into duck's body. And that's how Buddha lived with them. And all arahants lived like that. It was sensual pleasures without expectation. Expectation, he did not have any expectation for the future birth. May I never wished to have such and such a form, such feeling, such perception, such volitional formation, such consciousness, because he has made it like extinguish desire, made it like palm stem. When you cut off palm, the stem would not grow again. So there is no future expectation. He would not engage people in dispute. And Buddha said in several places, because I don't quarrel with the world quarrel with me. Buddha never wanted to quarrel with people, with others. He always aloof from dispute. It is in such a way that the meaning of this is stated in brief by the Blessed One should be understood in detail. Haliddikāni was very happy. He said to him, Venerable Sir, this is a wonderful teaching, and so forth. He expressed his delight, his pleasure, his satisfaction with the answers of Venerable Mahakachana. I think now we can end this session. By the way, this tomorrow or today is 9th. Next Saturday, the 15th, and this 15th, we have a retreat. And therefore, my participation starts at 9 o'clock with meditation first, and then Dhamma talk till 10:40. So I like you to join it. I will not have separate Zoom talk like this tomorrow. Next, on the 15th. And so I hope you keep this in mind. Now let us meditate. We are about 25 minutes. Okay. May all beings be happy and secure. May all beings have happy minds. Whatever living beings there may be, without exception, weak or strong, long or large, medium, short, subtle or gross, visible or invisible, living near or far, born or coming to birth, may all beings have happy minds. Let no one deceive another, nor despise anyone anywhere, neither from anger nor ill will should anyone wish harm to another. As a mother who risks her own life to protect her only child, even so, towards all living beings, one should cultivate a boundless heart. One should cultivate for all the world a heart of boundless loving friendliness, above, below, and all around, unobstructed, without hatred or resentment. Whether standing, walking, sitting, lying down, or whenever awake, one should develop this mindfulness. This is called divinely dwelling here, not falling into erroneous views, but virtuous and endowed with vision. Removing desire for sensual pleasures, one comes near again to birth in the womb. With this, we meditate in another 25 minutes. By means of these meritorious deeds, may I never join with the foolish. May I join always with the wise until the time I attain Nibbana. May the suffering be free from suffering. May the fear-struck be free from fear. May the grieving be free from grief. So too may all beings be. From the highest realm of existence to the lowest, may all beings arisen in these realms, with form and without form, with perception and without perception, be released from all suffering and attain to perfect peace. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Now, friends, all those who are in hospitals suffering from various diseases, may they recover very soon, return to normal health, continue their Dhamma practice, and attain liberation from samsaric suffering. May all the doctors, nurses, hospital staffs who are helping these people also find time to practice Dhamma, practice meditation, and liberate themselves from samsaric suffering. All those who have lost their loved ones may still be grieving. May they be free from grief and try to understand the nature of life and attain liberation from samsaric suffering. May all those who are in the northern direction, northeastern direction, eastern direction, southeastern direction, southern direction, southwestern direction, western direction, northwestern direction, up and below, all of them be well, happy and peaceful. May they all attain Nibbana. Okay? Now, see you next week.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bhante.
Thank you, Bhante.
Bhante.
Thank you, Bhante.
Everyone,
Good.
Saranai
Bhante,
Bhante.
Deva Bhante, Teruvan Saranai.
Sadhu, sadhu,
Thank you,
sadhu.
Bhante.
Sadhu, sadhu,
Sadhu,
sadhu.
sadhu, sadhu.